Thanks, guys. This is Kevin.
Honor to meet you.
Oh,
Congratulations
so nice
on
to
everything.
meet you.
It's an absolute honor to meet you.
Hi.
One of my favorite scenes in the film is when the father's talking to the children in the beginning. He's talking about the sheeps, the wolves, and the sheepdogs.
Yeah.
And I'm just wondering, because that's a fascinating thing, as you start to think about where you fall into that category. I'm wondering for you as an actor in this business, can you apply those things to being an actor and trying to get roles?
No. Because I'm not protecting anybody.
Right.
You know, I mean, that's the thing about this man, and what all soldiers do is that they actually put their life on the line for a higher cause to defend their country. So it's something that not many people ever get an understanding of. But you're right, there's a kind of beautiful thing that the father sets in the beginning, is how you want to live your life in general.
Right.
Are you going to take care of people, or are you going to just try to be a killer, or are you going to, self-serving? And, and I think as Chris would talk about, you transition into different parts depending on where you are. And, you always want to wind up as the sheepdog in the end.
Right.
And life is a long journey, and there's going to be a lot of roads. But it's always to try to stay focused on what's important. And that's what I think was sort of wonderful about that very succinct message that the father tells the kids. And then you watch Chris go on that arc throughout the movie.
Well, I think what you've done brilliantly here, and from watching interviews with Chris, I never met him personally, but I think you've interpreted him versus impersonated him. And obviously with the weight gain and the beard and everything, but can you talk about the difference in an impersonation versus an interpretation as an actor? And also for you, when you watch it, is that how you feel about it as well, as it's his interpretation of who your husband was?
Yeah, I mean, we talked about this when we went to Midlothian, and Taya, rightly so, was concerned. There's so many things she wanted to let us know about who Chris was. And we had a conversation, and I think it was helpful to both of us, where I just said, you don't have to do anything. We're just observing, and all I'm going to do is just give me as much information as possible about source material on your husband, and I'm just going to watch it and just hope by all the research that I do and the work that I do that I'll feel just one little nugget of who he was internally, and then that will hopefully go through with my eyes as him. I just have to believe I'm him, basically, and if I mimic him, that won't necessarily do the trick.
Agreed. Just the interpretation versus the impersonation?
Yeah, it's fascinating to me because, like you said, and like Bradley said, it wasn't an impersonation, but I would even go further than an interpretation, because to me and to a lot of people who know Chris, just watching the movie, you feel like you're seeing Chris. So yes, it may have started as an interpretation, but I think it built from there, and it was like he just embodied all of it, the character, the soul, the heart, the struggle. I mean, I feel like Bradley took the emotions on, and Chris was a very larger-than-life person and had a big heart and had a lot of emotion under the surface, but on the outside was very stoic in some ways, cool,
yeah.
and charismatic too. But I think Bradley understood all of that and did a fabulous job.
I'm a big nerd about movies. I always want to go on set and see a film get shot. How did Eastwood get the sniper rifle shots? Like, how do you look through the scope? How does he film this? And are we seeing exactly what you're seeing? Is that how that works? How does that work?
Well, I mean, you're talking about technically?
Yeah.
Technically, no. Technically, it's all different, because you're looking at points of view, and you have to put the camera where my eye would be in order to get the shot, and you're on the tracking thing. So it actually is all very technical.
Right.
And that's the sort of challenge of making a movie, is that you have to put the sense of organic, in the moment truth within a very technical environment.